Now, what I was talking to you about there just a second ago was the two Phillips head screws, which were supposed to be there, but I don't never put mine back in because they can be a real pain to take out. But I will point you in the right direction if you do have them in there and they are difficult to get out. Go to your local parts store or tools store, like Northern Tools or Harbor Freight, and ask about an impact screwdriver. What that'll do is you'll be able to put your screwdriver on there and then hit it with a hammer, and when you hit down, it'll be using a down force and a turning force at the same time. So it's an easier way to take those off. But I always keep mine off so I don't have to deal with taking them off there. And then you also have these bolt holes here. I guess if it's rusted on there, that's a way for you to screw some bolts in there and push the rotor off. So I'm going to go ahead and take the rotor off like that. And that's all there really is to removing your rotor there. So give me just a second here. I'm sure there's something I need to add. Alright guys, well I thought about that for a second. There's nothing I could possibly add. That's all there is to removing your rotor there. So go ahead and line it back up with those wheel studs and get your rotor back on there. If you want, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and put your Phillips head screws back in there. Honda decided to put it there for a reason, so it's probably a good thing to put it back on, but I'm not going to put it back on. Then you'll go ahead and get your bracket and we'll place it on like so, and we'll go ahead and put those bolts in. Now we're going to go ahead with the bracket like I said there and get it lined up like so. Go ahead and start your bolts back in there. Get those tightened down, good and tight. And make sure you got them nice and snug. As you can see here, I'm exerting a good bit of force on there. There we go. Nice and snug on there tight so it won't come off. Now, next things next, before we're able to go any further, you're going to want to make sure that your piston is compressed all the way back. So if you didn't take your large flathead screwdriver and compress it all the way back, what you can do here is take your old pad, not the new one, and a C-clamp. And what we'll do is we'll reach around here and we'll get it set up just like that. So then we're able to twist in, and I'll twist this all the way in right, and it'll tighten down and it'll slowly compress the piston all the way back. But since I'm reusing this pads, I'm not going to put that extra stress on the pad material. So I'll take that off there, and once you've done that, you will be able to fit your caliper over your new pads. Alright guys, and now when we go to put the new brake pad back in, what you'll want to do is make sure you get a hold of some high temp brake grease to apply to these sides here, so that when your brake is sitting in there and it's going back and forth, it will reduce noise and friction, which is a good thing for your brakes there. So what I like to try and do is slip it in here in the top one and then stick it down in there in the bottom, just like so. So we're good like that. And also take notice to which brake pad the indicator is on. This is the indicator right here, and make sure the brake pad with the indicator goes back on the side it's supposed to go on. In this case, it goes on the rear here. So once you get your brake pads back on, we'll slip the caliper back on over it. Now you've got your new brake pads back in there all nice and greased up, and another good idea is take a clean rag and wipe this piece down and apply some brake grease there, because that is where the caliper is going to slide here. So you want to put just some high temp brake grease on there as well, and if you compress the piston correctly, it'll slide right back on there like so. And there's also a slide right here. I'll take that out and show you how to lube that up as well. Okay guys, now after I took this rubber piece off, which you would have to do to remove this sliding piece right here, I realized that it's so rusted, and I took a hammer to it and beat on it and tried to get it to slide out there, but it's so rusted on there that I'd rather just change out this caliper than try and get this slide out. So if you could do so, what will happen is this slide will come out, and then you can just go ahead and lube it up with some of that high temp brake grease. But if it's stuck like this, it can cause your brake pads to wear in funny positions because the caliper won't be able to slide correctly. So if you are able to take that out and grease it up, go ahead and do so, and then don't forget to put your rubber covers back on there, and then we'll go ahead and put that caliper bolt back in. So guys, we've got our caliper bolt back on there, and once you get it on there nice and snug, remember you don't need to rip the bolt head off exactly. So if you can see how much pressure I'm applying here, that right there will do it. Once you get it on there good and snug, that's good to go. This side is done. We're going to put the wheel back on there, and I'll show you the last things you need to do before we're done here. Okay guys, once you've got your other wheel there back on, go ahead and pump your brake. As you notice, my foot went all the way down to the floor. You're going to pump it there a few times until it tightens up. And now you can see my foot's not going all the way over to the floor. So I'm going to take you back there and show you how it was loose before and it's not anymore. Okay guys, now I'm back here at the rotor to show you how it kind of tightened up a little bit since I applied the brakes and the piston compressed. So it's not as loose as it was there when you saw me first put it back on. And it is still a little loose again because I didn't put the Phillips head screws in. But what you see right now, it's moving. That's going to go away completely because when I put the wheel back on and I tighten up those lug nuts, it's going to push the rotor up against the wheel hub and it'll be sitting in there nice and tight, and so that won't cause any kind of problem. So that's pretty much it, and that's all I have for today on removing and reinstalling your front brakes on your 96 through 2000 Honda Civic. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you again next time. Well, don't forget to subscribe, like, and or leave a comment down below. Thanks again for watching.